Hey, what's up, guys and gals? My name is Ricknineg. Thank you for joining me today on this lovely Monday, Labor Day. Could you tell I'm kind of still sick? Kinda. Thank you for joining me today. I did something different. I just want to let you all know in case you're just coming into the live stream now, which I just started 15 seconds ago, or if you're watching this in playback. What I did was a day before I kind of announced the time that I was going to be on, and I made like a little notification thing, and it hits like reminders. So the instant I go live, boom, it lets you know. The thing is, I won't be able to do that every single time, but maybe it helps some people when I can do it. So I do appreciate that, and a thumbs up would be appreciated. Thank you for joining me, Jared, Alec, people that are coming into the chat, and of course, everyone who is a silent observer also. That's great. Either or, it's a great thing to have you on the live stream. Okay, happy Labor Day. Happy Labor Day to everyone, especially those in the United States. If you're not in the United States, today we said, well, I think Labor Day is kind of like an international thing, isn't it? It's a great question. I don't know if anyone's in England or any other countries. Let me know. Maybe Canada or Mexico down there. So I do appreciate it. I think it is a worldly thing, but it might be celebrated in different like in different days or anything. So let's get right to it. What we're going to talk about today, we're going to look at 2 I Love Lucy videos, and I do want to talk to you about some cool things, some possible more live streams on different topics, some just things that you may enjoy. So let's look at today. Today we're going to look at 2 episodes. We looked at Fred and Ethel fight and the mustache last week, and today we're going to be looking at the gossip and pioneer women. Now, 2 great episodes, in my opinion, from season 1. Let's go talk about this. Let me actually start the gossip. If you guys want to cue that episode up, you're more than welcome. Some people use DVDs, some people use Hulu. If not, we can just chat about it. No problem there. And let's see here, because this one, the gossip, is one that we don't have a rating share for this one. So this is a March 24th, 1952 release, episode 24, filmed on a Friday, February 15th, 1952. Supporting cast: Bill Foster, he's played by Richard J. Reeves. He's been seen in a lot of episodes, kind of an extra. He was in the Maha-Princess of Afghanistan. He was one of the henchmen, and he was also in not Cuban Pals. What was that, like the 3rd or so episode? Be a Pal when they're playing poker. He was one of the guys who's playing poker, and he appears in other episodes as well. He was also the Indian in the Indian show, one of the Indians. And Milkman is Robert Jellison. Robert Jellison, if you watch the Hollywood episodes, he's Bobby, the bellboy, and which is funny because Bob comes from Robert, and so that's kind of cool. And we see his first ever appearance on I Love Lucy, so that's pretty cool. And we see a really great slapstick or mime type work from Lucille Ball. It's great. She puts tape over her mouth and she does this whole gossip thing where you can know exactly what she's talking about, and everyone's trying to guess about it. So I'm feeling a little better. Thank you for asking, Taisha. You can still kind of hear it's my voice is a little hoarse, but other than that, a little bit of sinus issues going on. I have a little bit more energy, but I'm not like 100%. But I'll be going to work tomorrow and everything. Trying to drink lots of fluid, trying to take it easy. What is going on with this little thing right here? Anyway, so hopefully everyone's doing well. Hello, Scott. Nice to see you. Hello, Casey. Nice to see you as well on the live stream. Ooh, Nathan. So Nathan wants to maybe get a good look at the episode Lucy and Superman. Look at all these floaties. Lucy and Superman. So that's a great idea. That's one that was seen in color as well. So you can see that episode in color. And you guys see my shirt? Yeah, which is kind of weird because I am watching Lucy right now, right there. And so it's like Twilight Zone moment. So yeah, I'm improving. Awesome. James Wallen, because 2 E's would be Wallin, right? Yeah. So you call me, oh, your Roku does alert me. I actually know what a Roku is now. Yes. Very good. It's like a thing that lets you watch shows and stuff like that. Because you watch me on your TV, I'm guessing, oh my gosh, do you have me like on a big screen right now? You can see like all my imperfections and all my little like nerd things. Yeah. So Yeah, so that's it for this episode, me like going over the facts and information. Again, what I love, this episode starts out with Lucy and Ricky in the living room. We get a lot of play with them and they're talking to each other. Again, you don't see a lot of that in season 6. You see a lot more of the group, or you see a lot more of like the Mertzes. And you don't see that togetherness of the Ricardos as much in the script. And I think that was just, of course, the behind the scenes issues, but also just a difference in the script. They're trying to change it up. And I don't know if that helped the show. I think kind of hurt the show in some regards, because of course, not everyone likes season 6 as much as the other seasons. Now, there are people who love season 6, but it's not like the majority of fans, it's not like their favorite. And understand why. So that is for sure. Happy Labor Day to you, Randy. Oh, William, you're having a cookout. That is nice. Save me some barbecue. Oh, yes. Lucy is the greatest show. Rangy, thank you for joining the live stream. Lucy's the greatest show. So how long have you been watching? Just want to say hello. Can't say, but we'll watch later. Thank you, trained supporter. I knew that's the thing. That's the hard part, because some people are saying, Rick, could you do it at this time and this date? Like, yeah, there were some people that agreed, but then there's some people who couldn't and everything. That's the hard part. You can never please anyone. So unfortunately, some of these are going to have to be watched, not live, but you guys might have to watch them after. And that's okay, because like I said, there's no set time. And even if I did have a set time, like every single day or something, some people wouldn't be able to join in. It's just how it works. So trying to get to as many people as possible. So hopefully you guys can understand that. Pippi, nice to see you, and thanks for joining on your day off. You could be doing so many things, and you're here watching me talk about I Love Lucy. So awesome. I'm on the big screen. Okay, I should put on fix my tie. Yeah, all that good stuff. Shlomo. Truth. Leslie Poole, hi. Okay, you never liked the ending to that show. Lucy and Ethel lost, and they were being brats. You mean the Superman episode, Arthur, or which one? Hey, Rick, you haven't seen you in a long time. Happy Labor Day. Happy Labor Day to you, Bruce. Nice to see you. Good afternoon, Rick. I'm glad you're feeling better. I am feeling a little better. I'm not there yet. Like in perfect, like getting better. James Wallen, nice to see you. Thank you so much for the $10 donation, starting off the live stream in an awesome way. A nice Labor Day gift. Awesome. I do appreciate that. And thank you for that. If you guys ever want to do the super chat, it's down below. And you guys can put any comment there, and they'll stay pinned up there so everyone can read it, about the show, about the channel, whatever you guys want to talk about. So that is pretty cool. Oh, my nose is still like itchy. So I appreciate that, James. Awesome. I seriously have the best supporters. The best supporters who tune in, watch my videos, like them. I have so many of you that share. I have a couple people on Facebook who are awesome. Like every post, literally, they will like repost it to their wall and people will like it and see it. And it's just amazing that they would take time out of their day to do that. So I appreciate that. So I aim to put out more content for you and continue the content, of course. I already have an idea for an episode for this upcoming week on I Love Lucy, of course, because I'm feeling better. Oh, Lucy's doing her miming and punching, and she's like, there's a big fight going on. It's lovely. She put on the hat. She's like, Jack. Yep, Jack and the wife. Cop separating them. She does such a good job. Hey, Will. Nice to see you. Carissa, thank you for joining the live stream. This is an awesome community, Bernard, and it is because of the community. All of you supporting, all of you are doing great by coming here and supporting. Because again, I'm me, and I could be however I am, good or bad. But if the people around me, aren't great people, then the community won't be that great. And so I do appreciate that. Thank you, Taisha. You say I sound better. I wonder which one you're listening to, where I was like, was that on Monday? Was that a week before? Yeah, that was the day before, but I could feel it coming on, and I was like, oh no, it's going to be bad. So yeah, I definitely have more like sense. Like my brain is working. So that's good. When I feel sick, like my brain doesn't work, I'm like, huh? I'm like slow. Yolanda, you got Monday off. That's awesome. I know a lot of people got Monday off. That's why I'm like, let's do this. So yes, the gossip. Oh, you don't like the gossip. The girls were brats. Well, the guys kind of didn't win this one out. The girls did. And that's kind of surprising because usually it's like I Love Lucy, like Lucy gets her way and so forth, and that's always fun to see. But it's nice because they don't usually win to see the boys win. I made a whole episode on that. You should watch it, guys and gals, where it's like when the boys win. The reason why I made that was because if you notice, Lucy, it's like that's the whole point of the show. She gets her way, she's sneaky, she gets into the club. Like that's a lot of the premises, and it's funny, right? And then Ricky and Fred are the ones that are like, oh yeah, or Ethel. But yeah, it's just rare when the boys win, and so I made an episode on that. So you should check that out if you haven't. Well, a little better. Getting there slowly. It's just bad. Like the last couple days, like I was okay, but then you have a cough. I was like, I can't do live stream. But I'm like, hey everyone, oh, I hope you're doing. Oh, let me blow my nose. So now I'm managing where I could be on here an hour and not like have to do all that. I may have to leave if it's like an emergency for like 2 seconds and then come back, but it won't be that bad. Tony, you drove to Florida with the Bride of Frankenstein. Aren't you lucky? Such a famous lady, right? And to be able, what, Elsa Lanchester, I think her name was. Yeah, I think it's Lanchester, not Lancaster. Or Lancaster? Lancaster. I could look it up. What is wrong with me? I could look it up. That's why I have my book, and I can check all these things for you and make sure I'm correct and give you the correct information. So this is season 6 that we're talking about. Going to Florida before they moved to the country, because they definitely did that from the apartment. Visitor from Italy off to Florida. There we go. Elsa Lanchester. Chester. That's what it looks like. Yeah, Sarah. So this is the episode with the milkman. Remember, the milkman, was played by Bobby Jellison or Robert Jellison. Robert Jellison, Jellison, was Bobby, of course. Oh, sorry. Was Bobby, of course, the person who, the bellboy in the Hollywood episodes. And hello, Bobby, the little short guy. And he was hilarious. I loved him. He was great in the episodes that he was in. So it's just great to see that. And great to see him in his first appearance on the show, which is nice to see. Do you have any Three Stooges merchandise? Great question, William. I usually, in terms of merchandise, I usually think about it. Well, I would say think about it to you guys because I've thought about it so much, believe me. But maybe some people who watch me haven't thought about it. And the idea is, it's really hard to do like merchandise of things. Oh wait. Do you have any Three Stooges merchandise? No, I'm sorry. Do you mean to sell, William? Like to sell to you guys as subscribers, or just mean like if I bought like Three Stooges stuff like that I enjoy and that I use? So if you clear that up for me, I can definitely answer. Well, D, no, I have not given up on the flying lessons. I have been flying behind the scenes, but there have been some things going on, like life, right? Life with the flying and stuff that I have to get to. Like, I don't want to spoil it because it's just going to take time, guys and gals, to like get it out. Let's just say I have soloed and it went well. Like I was safe and everything. There's just some behind the scenes school stuff that I have to take care of. School, meaning like the flight school. And I don't want to say anything about it until I have it all figured out. I hope you can understand that because it is just, so hopefully you stay tuned. Hopefully stay tuned to the aviation series because again, this is my real life. Like this is what happens where some people, maybe they get into it and they feel like it's a show or whatever. And yeah, but in essence, like this is my real life. Like this isn't, something I'm like, oh no, let me do this. Let me not post. So it's like, no, like this is something where I'm like, I'm trying to see how I can approach this situation in the most delicate and professional way possible. But I also have to be true to myself and my audience. So like I'm logging this. So 20 years, 30 years, 40 years down the line, my kids and so forth can see this and be like, oh, wow, this is dad flying, So I don't know. It's important to me. So I'm definitely not giving up on flying. There are more things coming out in terms of that. So just stay tuned and I will let you know in due time. Taisha, oh man, you can tell that I was about to lose my voice. So thanks. Well, thanks for noticing. Actually, like I knew I was getting sick, but I didn't think it would be like a week long, you know, because like tomorrow's Tuesday, and so it's basically a week long, and I didn't think it would be. I thought it would be like sore throat, and I've had a sore throat before where it like comes 2 days and then just goes away. But it went through like the nose thing and like the cough, but the cough wasn't that bad. December, January, if you guys go back in my videos to like December, I made a video like when I was really sick, and it was like the sickest I've been. Like I was a month straight sick, like with a cold and like with the flu. Like I don't think I had temperature, but I was just like so bad, the sickest I've ever been. And so, yes, not fun. Oh, there we go. Spell check. I get the spell check issues myself. Don't worry about that. Happy Labor Day, Michael. Nice to see you. You love the DVD. So Michael won the DVD giveaway. Michael Ian, he's here in the chat. So I'm very glad that you're back on here. You also messaged me on Instagram. If you guys are on Instagram, that's a great way to contact me, and I try to respond to as many people as possible. I do get a lot of things, and sometimes it may be a couple days before I get back to you, but I try to get back to everyone. And I'm not there like a lot to talk to people, but I try as much as possible because there's not as many like people who follow me from YouTube on Instagram versus like Facebook, which is like all YouTube, you know. Yes, Bruce, I have seen. So Bruce is talking about the color film that an audience member took of the audition. Yes, it's on YouTube, but it's also on the DVDs too. I have it, and it's just great. And some people have mixed it in to the black and white, and it's really, really cool. So yeah, Will D, I did do my solo. Like I said, I don't want to give too much information out because then it's like people won't watch the video, and the video is really interesting and what happened. And so I don't want to get into it. But basically, yes, I flew a plane by myself multiple times now, and I'm very thankful I was able to do that, came back safe, all that good stuff, continuing to learn. But like I said, there's some behind the scenes things with the flight school that I'll just leave at that. I have to get figured out, and I'm looking to do that like tomorrow, Wednesday, like no later than midweek this week. And then once I get that figured out, then I could start doing the videos. 'Cause, yeah, I just say that. Yolanda, you wanted to throw out something out there. If things you noticed on requirement episodes, you'll start coughing. Not a problem with smoking. Oh, which episode do you think that? Well, thank you, Jared. I appreciate that. I appreciate all your guys' support on that because, I mean, it got really scary to think that I was like going to be in a plane by myself, like flying it. It's one of those things where I'm like, my instructor was like, okay, like come back and you could do a go around, which is like you coming in for landing, you don't feel good about it, you just go back up in the air. You don't land, you just like go back up and go around. And I was like, I could do that a few times. And I was like, eventually I have to get back on the ground, like by myself. I was like, oh no, and I did, obviously. But it's just interesting, kind of a little dramatic in how it played out, but dramatic in like a cool way because it's like, will it happen? Will it work? Will everything be okay? So like I said, things had to be worked out, and I'm sure they will. It's just that I have to get that logistic stuff done, and I'm trying to record and get that all on tape for you guys. So yeah. Arthur, so yes, there was a Three's Company episode where Lucille Ball was like with the cast, and she did say that John Ritter, according to her, was the best physical comedian out there. And that's a great, I think she said living, I'm not sure. She was like the best physical comedian like out there right now. And that is, I mean, yeah, that's one of the greatest things to be able to do that, like to be able to proclaim someone like that. Water done. And more water though. Okay, so let me just put these in the case right now. So, so Lucy's face, she went, Grace Foster, because again, this is the gossip episode, and what's happening here is Lucy and Ethel made a bet with the boys, saying that they could not, like, who could gossip first? The one who would gossip first would lose the bet, right? And so obviously the girls right now, they lost because they are gossiping. Excuse me. But they're like, well, we're not going to lose the bet with the boys. And so let's come up with a plan. So they came up with a underhanded little scheme, even though the boys came up with their own scheme. But I don't know. It's just one of those things of like chicken or the egg. Like the boys came up with a fake gossip. So the girls were gossiping about a fake story. So is that technically gossiping? I guess, or maybe not, because it wasn't really gossip. And then the girls continued the fake story. And then the idea is, well, the boys fell for it. So who was really in the right? It's just fun stuff, but it's just interesting to know, Kissed her on the cheek. You mean about Bobby? Who kissed who on the cheek? I don't remember right now. But I love when the boys are downstairs, like they're in the furnace vent, and that's how they were able to listen to the girls. And then Lucy gets that little blower thing. I didn't know what it was when I was a little kid, but that was they have it's I don't know. It's kind of like a fan if you'd have one of those hand fans and go like that. Basically, the furnace vent blows all the smoke, not the smoke, but like the heat into the apartments and so forth. So it gets all sooty and all that stuff. So she's blowing all that soot back into their faces, and that's why they come in and they're all sooty. Yes. Azan, is that how you say your name? Aazan. Azan. Well, welcome to the live stream. Thank you. I've never seen you before. Are you a big I Love Lucy fan? Thank you for coming. We're definitely talking so much Lucy and enjoying the episode. So there we go, Randy. You got it. These are bellows. Bellows, exactly what it's called. They're not really common now. It's one of those things where you go to an antique shop and see them, right? I don't think I grew up with it because I was little and they had a fireplace, my parents, and they actually put wood in it. And again, in LA or in the Los Angeles County area, that's pretty rare in itself. I know a lot of people still do it like in rural areas, and you get the poker, and we had the little like broom and everything. That was always kind of cool. I loved playing with the broom and the whole thing. Do you know how they felt about being called the boys and the girls in the writing? I don't know. I really don't know. I use that term because like Ethel would call the boys, and then they'd say the girls, and it's just easier because Ricky and Fred, Lucy and Ethel, it's just easier to say boys and the girls. So that's what I do. Fans of Fire. How did Lucy Arnaz and Desi feel about Lucy's remains being moved to Jamestown? Did they favor that, or was Jamestown that argued for that? So great question. It was in fact Lucy Arnaz Luckinbill. I believe it's her. I'm not going to say her by herself. Let's just say her in conjunction, but I think she led kind of the movement. Her and her brother, of course, Desi Jr., who wanted her mom's remains to be in Jamestown because they felt that she was born there, like her heart was there, although all of her work was in LA. Like this is where she worked, and Desi, of course, was in Del Mar, California, and so obviously they weren't married anymore, and so it was left to her children to decide. And one of those things, her husband, Gary Morton's second husband, wasn't around any longer. He had passed away. And so if you think about it, it'd be one of those things where it's like her kids decided. And so it's, they had all that power. And she was interred in, since her death, 89 till about 2001, I think, something like that. So a good amount here in LA, actually very close. And I'm sorry I couldn't see her until, she had left and taken over to Jamestown. But, that's where she is. And it is what it is, But it's good that we're able to go and see her because remember, Desi Arnaz and Vivian Vance had nothing to do with each other. They were both cremated. Now, that's not a big deal in the sense of like going to visit because you can visit cremated remains, but they requested that their ashes were scattered. I think Desi, like one of them at sea and then the other one just like undisclosed, like you don't really know, or just either way, like you can't go and visit them because, they're just gone in all true essence. And so that's a little hard to think about, but it is what it is, right? So Ryan, so you're asking about my season 1 bloopers. That was removed by YouTube because of copyright issues, which is unfortunate. Shouldn't be, but it is what it is. I may have to re-edit it and re-upload it and just see what happens. But it's just one of those things where it's like a drag because the content, the work, but it is what it is. So I'm going to try to get it done maybe in the near future. Do you think the kids will be buried in Jamestown too? Great question. I'm assuming you're saying the 60-year-olds who are the kids of the Arnazes, right? Or of Lucio Ball and Desi Arnaz. You know, I don't know. That's a great question. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think they probably will be buried with their families because, of course, Lucy Luckenbill is married and she has, I believe, she has children. She may even have grandchildren. I'm not sure about that, but 100% she has children. And Desi Arnaz Jr. does as well, children. And, you know, I don't know. I definitely think it may be different for them. I have seen the Dean Martin roasts, and I think they're great. I have seen them with Lucy. Hello, Kelly. Nice to see you in the chat. And Robert, nice to see you stopping by. Thank you so much. How's the cough? The cough is good. It's almost gone. I had some more in the morning. It's like when I wake up, you're like all clogged up. Got to get that all out. Sorry to get into the details. I'll just say that. And then once the day has like progressed through and you feel a lot better, a lot better. You feel better. Yes. And this is Pit Pocket Pearl. That's awesome. That made me laugh. I didn't read that part. Janet Waldo, the young fans and blacking out with Richard Crenna died in 2016. She was one of the most recent, right? Who was in the very, very true. And Dorothea Wahlberg, born 97. The oldest cast member on Lucy was Dorothea Wahlberg. Right, but she was actually the president of the Ladies Overseas Aid. Like, that was a real thing. It was, like, I guess they were trying to promote it. I don't know the story behind that. It would be really nice to know. Maybe I could do an episode, but here's what I feel, guys and gals. Please let me know in the chat what you think. I feel like maybe that information is, like, I'm not going to say unimportant, but, like, so small that most people watch Lucy will be like, what? Who's Dorothea Wahlberg? Like, who is it? Like, I know a lot of you will know. But I'm thinking that, like, you guys who are here, like 20%, like most of the fan base, most people have watched like 10, 20 episodes, let's say, who are fans of Lucy. But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe everyone will know like what that means or that moment. But I could totally make episodes. That's why I'm kind of hesitant to make episodes on like Louis Nicoletti and just those. They're definitely important. But I just feel that a lot of people won't know, or maybe they won't tune in versus like I Love Lucy bloopers, which is like, oh wow, I want to watch like these mistakes and stuff like that, right? So I don't know. It's just my 2 cents, but you let me know what you think. What's your favorite show made by Norman Lear? Actually, I'm not really familiar with Norman Lear. Maybe if you've like give me a show that he made or he's like helped create, then maybe it'll ring a bell. But it's not ringing a bell right now. Kelly Cox, so you're asking me to visit the stars at their Hollywood stars. So like Lucille Ball's Hollywood star. Do you guys want to see that? Like Lucy Arnaz? I think all 4 of them have it. Lucy Arnaz. Well, I think she's billed as Lucille Ball. That's what it says on her thing. And then there's who else? Of course, Desi Arnaz. And then we have, I think his is for like TV. I think also for production. I have to check that out. And then Vivian Vance, I think hers is obviously for TV. Maybe even singing, I'm not sure. And then Bill Frawley, of course, for like movies and TV, I think. So they're all 4 there. It would be maybe nice to make an episode of that and just to get it for you. Because I know, again, a lot of people can't go and see it and just go there and kind of look for them and just see how it works and put my hand on there and just, go back to see how that works. That's a good idea. Thank you. So, Bruce, your folks had these friends in the 50s with a house on the beach up in Del Mar near the Arnaz's house. And when they'd go to visit, they knew them enough to say hi, and they were nice. That's most of what I hear, to be honest with you, that they were fairly down-to-earth people, even though they were very rich and had all these, luxuries of life, that they were very nice to people, even people who weren't fans, and in general, like, they were human beings like all of us, but they were very, how you hear stars today, or it's like they're grumpy, they don't want to sign autographs and stuff. It's like you don't really hear that from them. Okay, Pioneer Women, kind of having some issues right now. Apologize for that in advance. It's just kind of hard sometimes. Okay, Pioneer Women. Now, this is a great one. I actually like it more than the gossip, to be honest with you. Randy, you enjoyed my movie reviews. Anyone else like those? I was hesitant whether to make more. I enjoy doing them, but I don't know if enough people like them enough. I have. Cluing you guys in to my secrets or what I use. These are movie reviews, and this is how I make them. It's kind of very simple, maybe a little drab, but that's how I do them. I just literally, as I'm watching it, I write notes. Pirates of the Caribbean, the movie Get Out, Thor Ragnarok. These are all movies that I've watched. Rampage, Nightmare on Elm Street, the original, the first one. A Running Man with Arnold. You might have seen the score there. I don't know. And then what else? What's this one? Oh yeah, this is for something else. For a couple card videos I've been. But yeah, like I have a lot of movies that I've seen. So let me know if you want to see any of those. Let me get to the Pioneer Women information. Let me go through that. Okay, so I definitely have information for this one now. Hold on, this Pioneer Women. Let's see, 60. Is this the first episode? Guys and gals, I think we've hit another record episode. Yep, this is true. Pioneer Women, guys and gals, episode 25 is the most watched I Love Lucy episode up to now that we have watched. So including episode 1, the pilot, all the way to 25. It's the most watched ever. And I'll give you all the information. It is a March 31st, 1952 release, Pioneer Women, episode 25, filmed on a Friday, February 22nd, 1952, so about a month before it aired. Rating share is 66.0 out of 86. Now you might think, is this good, this bad? Let me go back to other episodes. The Mustache was really popular, 58.6. We have 58s. And then if you go back to like the first couple episodes, which is fairly pretty good, you had 38s. That's really good. That's out of what, 56 the TVs that were used. That's still more than half of all TVs are watching it. But now we move up to how many more TVs are in the market. So 66 is insane. Mrs. Pettibone, Florence Bates, and Mrs. Pomerantz, Ruth Perot. Now Pomerantz was used. You also have Mr. Pomerantz used, no relation to Mrs. Pomerantz. And I believe that was an actual real life agent of the Arnazes. I have to look that up, but that's just really interesting. So Mr. Pomerantz, Charlie Pomerantz, I believe, he was Ricky's agent at one point, I think in the Hollywood episodes. Now, Ruth Perot, who played one of the society matrons from the Society's Matrons League, was a featured character, Katie the maid, on Lucy's My Favorite Husband, the radio show, and was probably considered for the role of Ethel Mertz, according to this book here. The name Pettibone was inspired by Jean Pettibone, a CBS photographer, and Pomerantz by Charles Pomerantz, who I just mentioned. I didn't even see that. A Philip Morris press representative headquartered in LA. Okay, so that's what I meant to say. Philip Morris, I don't know why I said agent. Oh, because he was Ricky's agent. My bad. So yeah, so that's kind of cool. Remember, the Arnazes really loved to use the names of real people. So they didn't like to make names like, oh, Mr. Jones, Mrs. Jones. Like they actually wanted to base a lot of these names on real people. Willowy and Mr. Willowy was actual name of something that I won't divulge because I want to make an episode on that. And Pomerantz, for example, and remember the Van Blacks and so forth. They had friends. A lot of these are named after real friends they had. So that's kind of cool. Hey, Nicholas, nice to see you. Sorry, I'm going back to the comments here. Were there any Lucy reunion specials? Not that I know of. Like all of them getting back 10 years. Not that I really know like that they would get on TV. No, nothing like that. For diehard fans like your viewer supporters, we would love to learn all about the supporting characters on the show, but you're right, a general audience might be less interested. Yeah, so I'm trying to strike that balance. I appreciate that honesty, Will, because like that's, if you notice my videos, that's what I try to do. Like sometimes I like to do like obscure things, like the racehorse on Lucy Wins a Racehorse, but I try to get background. It's like a Lucy Desi Comedy Hour episode, and I know some of you big fans will probably know this stuff, maybe not, and want to know. So it's good to definitely know about that. Get Out review would be cool. Yeah, I really want to get more into the movie reviews. I enjoy doing them so much, and I love movies. And I love sitting back and just watching a movie where I don't really know what to expect, but just have like an initial interest, whether that's good or bad. Because I could watch a movie that's like, maybe I'm interested in, but I'm like, this movie's going to be bad. Let's just see what happens. I also saw Crazy Rich Asians, and that was a very interesting movie. Like I saw it in the theater. I saw Jurassic Park: Fallen Kingdom in the theater, so I didn't take notes in the theater. I saw Black Panther way back in the theater. I saw The Last Jedi. Well, I did do a review on that one. But yeah, it's just something to note. Normally they're created All in the Family, Good Times, The Jeffersons. Very good. So these are more, I believe, like 70s comedies, right? I'm not really into a lot of 70s comedies, to be honest with you. Or I could be wrong. Yeah, I think they're 70s, right? At least The Jeffersons. Yeah, I never got into those. Any of those that you mentioned doesn't mean they're not good or anything. I just never really watched them. I don't know why. I've been watching Taxi, which is definitely 70s. I've been looking at what else? There's another one I've been Three's Company, obviously, but that's more 80s, I guess, kind of late 70s, 80s, right? 8 Foot Loaf, right? 8 Foot Loaf coming out of the thing. Yeah, there are many, I wouldn't even say bloopers, inconsistencies that they had to do to make the episode work, which is kind of interesting. Bruce Merrill. So Bruce says, Rick, did you say once that you met or talked to Lucy Hernandez once and that she supported your work? Yeah. So she watched a few of my videos. I think the one that she watched was like 17 bloopers or something from like season 4, my most popular video. It has almost 1 million views, which is nuts. I can't believe that. And yeah, she complimented me on that episode, said she learned a lot of things that she didn't even know about, like her mom and stuff. And I was like, whoa, like what a compliment coming from the daughter of Lucille Ball, right? And yeah, it was a verified account, and she messaged me through Facebook. But I mean, I corresponded with her. We were going back and forth a little bit. So she's very nice, very sweet. Of course, I said that I had really appreciated her mom's work and, of course, her father's ingenuity in creating the show, and that a lot of people who watch my stuff are really appreciative of their work. And she's like, oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. And she was very nice. Yes, you are very correct. Beef, not fish. Charlie Pomerantz was played by Hy Averback, who was also played by, I liked him. I liked his personality. He was just like out there, like, I'm not gonna say a nemesis, but like an anti-character or an anti-hero, as you would call it. Yeah. It was great. Appleby. He was good. But then he was replaced by another actor who I don't think was as good, like in season 6. But he was definitely in season 4. Definitely in season 4. Playing. So he went from Charlie Appleby to playing one of Ricky's agents. I think Charles Pomerantz as well. And so it's interesting. A lot of Charles names. I don't know. It's just interesting how they would like rebrand these characters, you know? Arthur, bad movies are sometimes the best. I've seen Three Amigos over 100 times. You know, the one that I recently saw is Mr. Bean, the one where he comes to LA and he's like the Whistler's mother painting. I don't know if that rings a bell to anyone, but again, I love Mr. Bean, Rowan Atkinson. I love his type of comedy. It's very much slapstick and like quiet miming, very much Red Skelton, a little bit of I Love Lucy or Lucille Ball in there. I very much respect his work. He, like Lucille Ball, rehearsed every single eye twitch, every single movement, every single thing he did that looked accidental was choreographed, just as Lucille Ball did. Like now she's pounding her fists into the loaf and flipping the loaf. Like you might think like, wow, that's so clever of her to do that. But she actually like planned all that. Like think about that. Like you can give it to me and maybe I could make it funny. I'm not saying I would make it like her, right? Like as good as her. That's not my point. My point is like I could just ad lib it. But she made a point not to do that. She would plan everything. And I think that was part of her genius, that like she knew what worked and what didn't work. She's like, if I flip it like this, it'll be funny. So she was making sure of like, this is a move, then we're going to do this move, then we're going to do this move. And she did it so well that it was just like nonchalant. Like you didn't even know. And many people still get upset at me that it's like, no, Lucy ad-libs some of this stuff. So I'm like, nope. Not according to everyone that knew her and the Oppenheimers, including Greg and Jess, which say very differently, and books on Lucy. And you, as fans, know that she did not ad-lib almost anything at all. So, yeah, kind of cool to know. Oh, Hy Averback was later director for MASH. I did not know that. And that stands for like Medical Aerial Service Hospital or something, right? Something like that. But it's like the army of the army show, right? Where they were like in Vietnam. I didn't really watch a lot of MASH. I do know Alan Alda and all that stuff. So that's not like in real life, but yes. Hey, Amer, how are you? Nice to see you. And Jay, Verna Felton's apartment. What do you mean Verna Felton's apartment, Jana? Do you mean there's an episode where we see Verna Felton's apartment? She kind of plays like this grumpy lady, right? She always plays that grumpy character. Although she was the fairy godmother in Cinderella, the original voice. I don't know if you guys knew that. A lot of these people were loud noise. A lot of these people were voice actors. It's kind of cool to know that. Jared, I have heard about Lucy Ball being played by Kate Blanchett. I love Kate Blanchett. I think she's very talented in her work. We're not talking about real life. I don't know about her real life, but like as an actress, I think she's very talented. She hit out of the ballpark with Katharine Hepburn in The Aviator. If you guys haven't seen The Aviator, you should really watch that. What I love that movie, it breaks a lot of I should do a review on it. It breaks a lot of barriers in terms of like there's not a lot of like I went to film classes in college and they said that like 99% of every movie has some type of like man on woman like relationship. And this like doesn't. Although they get together, there's really no like romantic kissing relationship in it. And that's rare for like any movie. Think about any movie, whether it's romantic or not, even action movies. And it's just like a thing. And not only that, but it was just so focused on this man, Howard Hughes, and really well done. And I really respect him. So I don't know, maybe I should do an episode on that. Have you thought about doing a video on Charles Lane? I think I should because, Mickey, a lot of people know who Charles Lane is. And even if you've seen like 4 or 5 episodes, like he pops up in a lot of them. So like people are aware of him. And at most or at worst, people say like, oh yeah, the old guy in I Love Lucy, you know, because that's what he's known for. He did so many shows and so many little parts in so many of these shows. It's how he made a living. Said that he would sometimes do 2 or 3, maybe 4 tapings a day. He would drive from studio to studio all around LA and he'd be like, okay, I got a taping at 7, I got a taping at 4. Like he did his little part, got dressed, went on camera, did his thing, and then left, and then went somewhere else in time to do something else and get paid because they didn't pay that much. So to make ends meet, he had to go from show to show. He appeared in tons of shows, and so it's kind of cool. Well, the MASH, Mobile Ambulance Surgical Hospital. I was not even close at all, but I think I got the hospital part and the MASH part. So yes, talented. No, I'm kidding. Thank you guys for instructing and educating me. I love that. So you guys are awesome. Thank you, Becky. I am feeling a lot better. And honestly, like I wasn't feeling as good like coming on here. I was like, I'm just going to do it because I promised it. And as I've been doing this, like literally, I don't know if you can guys tell, like go back and watch this in the beginning. I had lower energy. I can even feel my energy's higher right now. And I'm just drinking water. Like it's not like I took anything or had tea or anything. So I really do appreciate you guys give me energy. You guys give me like motivation to do this. And I really enjoy this. And so thank you so much for supporting what I do and being able to like donate on the super chat and show my videos and support and watch what I do. So don't forget to give a thumbs up if you haven't given a thumbs up. So many people forget and it's so helpful. So thank you. The Aviator is amazing, according to Jared. Blanchett is outstanding in that movie, and I think she'll do a great job playing Lucy. I agree. I enjoyed your recorded video on the Stars of the Walk of Fame. You watched Lucy on Uranium. So funny. Isn't that a great episode, Michael? That is awesome. Came back. Kate Blanchett is good in anything she does. I agree. Charles Lane was terrific as well. He kind of plays the same type of like old, I wouldn't even say grumpy, but kind of. He's not like Fred Mertz grumpy. He's just like, well, I'm old, kind of, you know. So, yeah. Randy, do you actually like The Lord of the Rings? The reason why I asked, I watched Lord of the Rings like back when it came out, like when it was on DVD the first time, and I just couldn't get into it for the first half an hour. Then I watched it recently because I'm like, dude, movie reviews, whatever. I just wasn't pulled into the story. I watched about 45 minutes of it, and I feel like I didn't even remember what I'd seen before, and I was just like, oh, I can't. Do I have to wait? Do I have to watch like the complete first one, then I'll get into the second one? Like, or does it get really good, or is it just not for me? Like, I don't know, because I've really tried and I kind of want to force myself just to do a review, but I feel like, I don't know, I may not like it and everyone seems to like it. And so I'll be like really juxtaposed to everyone else, but I don't know, just my 2 cents there. Yes, Mickey, he was in about 7. I think you're correct. 7 is the correct number of how many episodes he was in. Now there's like that guy that just came in, brought Lucy a telegram. He was in another I Love Lucy episode, and I'm trying to figure out who he was, but can't really. He was really in there quick, and he had a mustache and a hat, so it was really hard to see. Brandon, so the only acknowledged scene not rehearsed by Lucy was the country house egg tango. She wanted to be able to show the honest reaction. So while you're absolutely correct about the actual like explosion or the cracking of the eggs in her shirt, that feeling, that part she didn't practice, but she practiced the dance. So she rehearsed the dance. And she even did the whole like smash thing without the eggs. Like, I want to make that part clear. So you are correct. And I know it's hard to type, but yeah, just you're definitely correct. She didn't practice the reaction of like the wet eggs like all over her. That was definitely like the first time, and she wanted that. And I think that's genius because she wanted to get the dance right, right? But the reaction, she wanted it to be like the first time, because then you can get numb to the reaction of it. You know, like let's say if I threw eggs at someone, the reaction would be like, oh my gosh, I've never felt this. But let's say I did that for like a month straight. Like by the last time, it won't be as surprising as like first time, right? Oh, and there comes the bread, the gigantic actual loaf of bread, guys and gals. In case you don't know, this gigantic loaf who came out of the oven on this huge pan, right, was an actual loaf of bread. And I made a whole episode on it, fact or fiction. I guess I'm spoiling whether it was real or not. But I will let you know that I give you all the details, how they get that bread made, how did it work out, did they have to make it on set? All those details are in that video. Check out my fact or fiction videos. And I tried to spell a lot of those rumors and how it was made, how they got it. And I think you enjoy it. That's what I love about this, going into these stories. And think about it. Some people are like, oh no, it was fake. No, it was actual bread. But think about it. How would they get, like, have you ever seen a loaf like that long? Even today, like that's outrageous for a show like this. So I think it's really great to highlight these things and the lengths they went to entertain us for on the show. Think about it. This was not like movie style production. This was a 26-minute show. It was super popular. But yeah, now look, there's a horse. They got a huge thing. There was a horse, and there's a big story about this horse and what happened. And you can literally see 2 seconds of this horse on camera. That's it. And there's a reason for that. So maybe who wants to see an episode on that? Just like about that horse that shows up 2 seconds. He was going to have a longer scene, the horse, but no, they had to cut it out. And think about that. They had to get the horse. They had to get a trainer. They had to get like an area to keep the horse. This was done live, guys and gals. Imagine having like a horse in front of a show. Like this was new stuff. They'd never done this before. Arthur, how close are you to getting plaques from YouTube for subscribers? It starts at 100,000. I'm at 13,000 right now, Arthur. So it's going to take a while. I don't know how long it's going to take. I'm definitely looking forward to it, but it's one of those things where it just will take the time that it takes. And of course, all of you help in a small way, meaning like it's almost like ants, you know, like ants, so many ants, like they accomplish so much. There's a lot of you, like each view, each share, each super chat, like all that little stuff adds up, and it does help raise the ranks. Like I went to the homepage of YouTube and it recommended like one of my videos, and I was like, whoa, and then it went away. But the thing is, like it did recognize me as that, but I never, like it's, since I've started YouTube, I think only twice I've seen my videos on like the homepage, like show up recommended. Now I know like once you start watching videos, it'll recommend them, but like this is on the homepage where it like pops up. Now, some of you, I don't know if you go home and it'll recommend, but that's kind of cool. And so it did that. And I was like, whoa. And one day, hopefully I'll hit the trending page, which is like, that's recommend over everyone on on YouTube for that day. So that's honorable. So I do appreciate that. And thank you for all those who've been thumbs upping. And I've seen the thumbs up going up now to 17. So I do appreciate it so much. And a lot of people have joined the live stream today. I don't know if I made the notification that I was going to do this like a day before or not, or just because it's Labor Day, but I do appreciate all the support. Hey, Tim Lebo Grayson. I'm doing great. Thank you. I'm definitely improving. Yeah, the Bellatoons. Well, the Bellatoons are really popular. Really popular. I can't hold a candle to them. But for $1 million, yeah, like 6 months ago, I'm sure, because, you know, married to, or engaged to like John Cena and all this stuff. So it does depend on your popularity. Like if I would be on TMZ and I fall over and I'm like on the news or something, then yeah, people look for me. I'll shoot up in that, right? But that's not my life right now. I lead a very simple life in that sense. Like I'm not like all over the TV or anything. Well, thank you, Randy. I appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your holiday, and thank you for stopping by. Uh, Zardan Rich, what got me so interested in I Love Lucy episodes? Great question. I get asked this a lot, but I love to answer it. And that's when I was 3 years old. I used to watch Saturday morning cartoons. And if you guys aren't familiar with how that worked, because I know maybe some of you are maybe an older generation or just closer to Lucy, or maybe just are not familiar with that. The way it worked is cartoons started at like 5 in the morning, really early. And then they were more kiddie close to 5 in the morning, and like 6, and then they would be like really kiddie, and then 9 there'd be more live action kid shows, like actual like Power Rangers, stuff like that. And then at 10, 12 it would be like karate, and then be like more action, no blood, but it would be like martial arts. Like there was a World Martial Arts Council show thing that was like UFC, but it was like fake, and there was like drama and all, and it was for kids. And then wrestling came on, and then other shows. So in between there you'd have I Love Lucy. Like it'd be like, oh, on the next channel we'll have I Love Lucy on Fox in the morning. I was like, what is this? I just didn't change it. And I love the previews. It was like they would show cool previews of like the bread coming out of the oven. Like Lucy, I was like, that's funny. Like that looked funny to me as a 3-year-old. And then Lucy like being starched, I just thought it was like cartoonish. It was just so visually appealing to me as a kid. Think about it, as a little kid in black and white. And so that's why I think like little kids can still enjoy I Love Lucy, because it's something visual. It's like, I know I work with cars, and sometimes I'm around Ferraris and these exotic cars, and you'll see little kids that could barely speak, and they'll just be looking normally, and then they'll see like these cars, and then they're like, and how girls and boys, you can think it's because of the color, but sometimes not, and the kids will notice. And it's like, how do these kids notice? Same thing, how does a 3-year-old notice I Love Lucy? Well, I did, and it just is. And then I just got hooked. I just kept watching it, never stopped, and I love the show. Hey Denise, nice to see you. Well, I appreciate that you made the live stream, Manatee. Thank you so much. Is there a whole episode where Fred William Frawley was nice to Ethel? Or a whole episode, I don't know. But there's a good amount of episodes where they're kind of on good terms. The one with Cuba, where they go to Cuba, not in season 6. This is the Lucy Desi Comedy Hour. There's one like that where it's very similar to that. And it's kind of interesting. They're rare, though. Let me tell you that. Hey, Mabel, nice to see you. Don't worry about being late. Remember, you can just watch it to the end and then get what you missed. And at least you're here live. Some people, it's really hard for them to make it live, even though I try to cater to different times and so forth. Arthur, every Saturday you'd get up at 6, play Nintendo from 6 to 7, then 7, clear to cartoons, then wrestling from 1 to 2. Awesome. Lucy would air after Gumby, before Speed Racer. See, Scott, I know a lot of that. I know Speed Racer, I know Gumby. And so you know what I mean? Like, because it would go from cartoons to like live action that kids can still watch, but they're trying to like desensitize you, so you kind of stop watching before it gets to like more adult stuff, right? Or like Three's Company, which it would not be for kids. Like, you know, you would not have your 5-year-old watching Three's Company. At least you shouldn't, especially at that era. Like, it was risque back then. And so before they just play that right after a cartoon, they would have to like have a little filter, a little buffer. And so that's kind of how it worked. They would hope that kids would start, like, it would stop watching I Love Lucy, but even if some did, it wasn't a big deal. I mean, it was smart. It was smart. But now it's like YouTube, like kids, I mean, little kids will watch like YouTube and these like My Little Fur Babies and stuff like that, and Little Pony stuff, and they just hit like that thing, and they'll just show that, like all those episodes, and there's no danger of them seeing anything else. Like they could watch that 24 hours a day on demand. So it's kind of cool. Well, the episode's over, guys and gals. Thank you so much. If you haven't left a thumbs up, please do so, because it does help out my channel, in case you don't know. And hit that subscribe button. It does help out. It does let you know when I go live, because so many people ask me, Rick, when do you go live? And remember, if you are notified and you still have not gotten the subscriptions, hit that bell notification, because subscribing no longer notifies you. Subscribing just helps out my channel. So I do appreciate that. It's like they added more steps now. So I do appreciate that. And again, thank you for your support as always. Look out for more videos ahead, flying stuff, movie reviews, and of course, more I Love Lucy, and probably more sitcoms coming up, maybe more Gilligan's Island, maybe more Three Stooges, a lot of good stuff that I'm just really excited about doing for you. So thank you guys in advance for all your support. We'll see you next time, and don't forget, be hopeful.